Hi, my name is Colbert and let's start with Glasshouse. So let's begin straight from the one of the coolest games in this list. Here you are, a nuclear explosion survivor that has found himself trapped in a small cramped apartment with those you would consider friends. Well, at least at first. As time goes on, tensions rise, resources dwindle and trust begins to falter, leaving the hope of survival in your own hands. Here choices matter heavily, so do not underestimate the spectrum of causality and make only well-marinated decisions. You will master your oratory skills in challenging relationships while exploring the building in which you are locked in, and where everything can happen. You may sacrifice your belongings and craft whatever it takes to survive the nuclear winter. You may solve a murder, unwrap a political riddle, and have to decide how far would you go into the guts of mysterious society. The game has a lot of cool features. For example, it will offer you to choose your political orientation and stick to it, observing how it would influence the world around you. Well, honestly, talking about politics in a cramped space you can't leave is probably not the best choice you can make. Developers are promising that you will first-hand experience a thriller story full of twists and turns, memorable characters, and unexpected endings based on your choices. I'm not gonna lie, this game looks really promising, worthy of my wishlist. Rue Valley. So far no actual gameplay exists except the tiny video roll from the creation of environment, but provided screenshots and interesting description got my attention. This is a story-driven RPG with emotional twists and turns, personality system and mind map mechanics. Here you will define your character and summon the strength to stop the strange time anomaly that brought you back in time for, not that much, only 47 minutes. Well, honestly, if someone brought me back for 47 minutes now, I just have to remake my sandwich and coffee again. I think I also scratched my balls and picked a medium-sized booger from my nose in that time. Yeah, in this exact order. Nothing else happened, it's 6 AM here, the world around me is still asleep, so my actions won't even cause a tiny ripple in a time-space continuum. But in Rue Valley, this changes everything. Well, probably, maybe, I don't actually know. Anyway, it looks like a cool project in the very early stages of creation. Broken Roads. This is a narrative-driven RPG that brings exploration, strategic turn-based combat, and meaningful philosophical choices. This time it's post-apocalyptic Australia with authentic Australian locations and environments, so probably filled with spiders, koalas, kangaroos, and vampire goblins. Great stuff, although, well, I'm not Australia scientist, not Australiologist in other words, you shouldn't trust me blindly. Honestly, I'm really not sure about those koalas. Anyway, Broken Roads has a lot of Fallout vibes and that is never a bad thing. Here you can control up to 6 party members and enjoy hand-drawn art, though for me so far it looks a bit too cartoonish. I like more realistic dark environments, but hey, it's just me. Also, Australia and darkness just don't go well together. Despite that, the game looks nice and it uses a unique morality system which is based on 4 areas of moral philosophy. This design makes dialogue options and questing decisions influence and be influenced by a character's philosophical leaning. By the way, have you noticed that in every post-apocalyptic game everyone suddenly becomes moral philosophers of every kind? I would say it's a bit too late for that. Instead, in post-apocalyptic setting you should probably concentrate more on how to catch, that cat for your soup.
All I can think is a meaning of life.
Yeah, Johnny, we are all hungry. Can you stop, please?
No man, you don't understand. Confucius once said.
Guys, let's just eat Johnny.
Anyway, all of this reminds me of Disco Elysium really heavily, and this is exactly why Broken Roads landed in this list. Chronique de Silencieux. Set in the 1970s France, you play as a rookie private detective tasked to dig out the secrets of a stubborn old man. You have to follow your leads, ask questions to witnesses and detect their lies, hypothesize why, and finally confront the most suspicious or the most silent ones who are running from the past or from justice. So you are entrusted with a peculiar case of Victor Dusvallon. This old history professor is known for shrouding his past life in secrecy for everyone around, including his own daughter Catherine, and thus your case begins. You will get engrossed in the handiwork of a detective, search through family papers, ask personal questions, call at inappropriate times, and be generally nosy. Only this way you can solve a terrible mystery. Sovereign Syndicate. Here in this Victorian steampunk CRPG you will explore an open world filled with mystery and danger. You can choose from 3 playable characters with branching stories that intertwine. You will investigate, interact and take action to leave your mark on the world and its inhabitants. You will not find any random stat points here and will have to use your skills to level them up. Game wants you to trust your fate to the innovative tarot card chance system. You can solve problems with combat, persuasion, magic or even explosives. The game is heavily influenced by games like Fallout, Baldur's Gate and Disco Elysium. NPCs react to your gender, race, appearance and choice of dialogue, so you'd better look and act the part if you want the right results. But not everything is certain. Luck plays a role and it's all in the cards with the aforementioned tarot card chance system. Well, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of randomness in the games, and luck is exactly that. A random outcome to which you have no or little influence, at least when we are talking about approximately equal chances of success and failure. Of course, in many games your skill level in certain areas may influence the outcome heavily, but if some outcome is important and you got a disappointing result, you will load the save game and try again. That's how I got Nettie to let us go peacefully in Baldur's Gate 3. I tried as many times as I needed. That is the biggest flaw with luck in games. You just load and try again. And again, well, you can eliminate the save game feature and leave only autosave, like I recently saw in Dying Light 2. So you have to stick with your decision even if you don't want to, or start the game over from the beginning. The result of that? I just stopped playing. Anyway, Sovereign Syndicate may very well be a hidden gem or at least a nice polished rock. If you are in doubt, you can play the demo version already. Mistmoon. This is a detective game set in a rustic island town where peace and contentment reign and everyone sorts their recycling. Or at least it might look that way if you ignore a freshly murdered farmer. But as the agent sent to investigate this murder, you probably shouldn't ignore the murdered farmer. You know, you may get fired otherwise. So you must find clues, question the townsfolk and gather enough evidence to make an arrest. And because choices matter here, I wonder, can you arrest the innocent person? Dear developers, if you're watching this, please implement this opportunity into your game. You know, it could be just like one of the endgame scenarios in Disco Elysium, where you fail heavily or be incredibly lucky at evil things. Anyway, in the meantime, you'll have to discover a fair share of secrets, not to mention denizens more sinister than your ex. Work however you see fit. The game doesn't hold your hand or penis, just make sure you crack the case, nothing else matters. The Bookwalker. Stripped of his ability to write, a once successful writer finds himself in an unexpected turn of events when a cunning criminal boss offers him a shot at regaining his lost freedom. He wants you to find and steal legendary items from books. Sounds like an awesome crazy dream of some crazy man, but this is what this game is all about. You will delve into remarkable book worlds, each with its unique rules and challenges. You will encounter enemies blocking your path, muster the last of your abilities and dismantle your foes in turn-based combat. Each quest will thrust you into an entirely new world. You will meet inhabitants of each book and use them to reach your goal. Each character has their own perspectives and desires, and only you will decide if your presence is their salvation or doom. Although we all know that the best legendary item is hidden in a book called The Best Potato Salad Recipes.
Nyam nyam nyam.
Esoteric Ebb, or Esoteric EBB. This is an isometric CRPG in which you unravel a political conspiracy in a unique post-arcane punk fantasy setting. Inspired by classics, it features colorful and really weird characters you get to interact with by deep and branching dialogues. The city of Norvik is holding its first ever election and somebody just blew up a tea shop. Yeah, no more tea for you. I would immediately blame coffee-loving people. They are the worst. Oh wait, that's me. Last cup of tea I drank was 3 years ago when I was really sick. Sick with poverty, and I had no money to buy coffee or beer. Anyway, it's up to you and your goblin companion Snell to unravel the political web of incompetency. You will have to explore the streets and tunnels of this fantasy metropolis, debate devils, drunk sphinxes, and all manner of fantastical fools in a world where mythological creatures sell newspapers at corner shops and ideologies overtake the ramblings of dead gods. So don't forget the most important question: what are you voting for in the election? I'm definitely voting for those who will promise to make potato salad ingredients cheaper and free beer for everyone. If you promise that, you have my vote. Thank you for watching, have a nice day.
And I'll see you next time. Bye.